Hey guys, and welcome back to my living room. My name is Megan if you're new here, and I am a homeschool mama to 6 kiddos. Today's video is going to be a first quarter update on our homeschool. We are actually well into the swing of our second quarter and have been for a couple of weeks. But I did want to share a first quarter update, just some things that are going well, some different thoughts that I have going forward, and even some things that we have changed. So as I mentioned, I am a mama of 6 and I am homeschooling 5 of my 6, and my 6th one is tagging along whenever he is feeling like it. He's 4, he's in pre-K. I don't push it, but he normally will tag along quite a bit with my kindergartner. So I guess you could say I am homeschooling all 6 of them. My oldest is in middle school, and this year has definitely been a year of new. So this is our 10th year homeschooling in our home, and it's funny, I always say, you know, people think, oh, 10 years, you must have it all figured out. You guys, I don't think there's any year I've ever felt like I had it all figured out. There's always some kind of curveball that comes along. There's always some sort of growing pain in there somewhere in some way. And this year we had a lot of new. So this year has brought a lot of changes, specifically with scheduling, especially with the different dynamic of how we are doing different subjects and things like that. There was just a lot of new this year, and I wasn't sure how exactly that was going to pan out. If you are interested in seeing how I schedule our homeschool, or how I plan our homeschool is really more what it's like. If you are interested in seeing how I plan our homeschool yearly, monthly, weekly, daily, that whole thing, I will link that video down below. In there, I talked about how there's this new thing that I've been doing where we are alternating weeks of history and science and grammar and writing, and how beautifully that's been working for us. Again, if you want to hear more about that, I will put that link down below. But that is something I have been very, very pleased with. So something else I am pleased with this year is our science. Speaking of that, and that also leads into the next thing I was going to talk about, which is the changes this school year. So in my science curriculum video, I shared my plans of using gentle and classical nature with my elementary kiddos, and using a more unit study approach for my middle school boys. Now, the unit study that I purchased, that was the Intro to Biology unit, they finished their Intro to Biology unit, but they're also doing forensic science at our co-op. My other kiddos, we have loved the gentle and classical nature. However, I ended up making a change, and now we are all using Berean Builders Science in the Industrial Age. Now, Berean Builders is something that I kept going back and forth on. And I am so glad that I ended up going with my gut, and at the homeschool convention ended up purchasing that curriculum. I just could not leave it there. When I saw it in person, I was like, okay, I just know this is what I want to use. Now, technically, Science in the Industrial Age is like elementary through 6th grade, and I have an 8th grader. But because they already did the Intro to Biology unit, plus they're doing forensic science, I felt like it would still work great. It also goes a lot deeper into some science concepts that make it really easy to adapt up or down depending on the ages of your kids. And so I am loving it, like absolutely loving it. I'm probably going to make a whole video all about the Berean Builder Science that we're using this year, just a full review of how it works, why we love it, all the things. So that is a change. I am so glad that we did. While we still use the gentle and classical nature some, we are mainly going to be using the Berean Builder Science. So another change that has happened this school year is a change in curriculum in regards to spelling. So my son, who has dyslexia, spelling has always been a struggle, especially because on top of the dyslexia, there is an actual learning disability dealing with spelling as well. And we were previously using Spelling Power, which was working pretty well. However, it was still kind of a struggle. So I was talking to some dear friends of mine, and they all have been using Phonetic Zoo. And so I started looking into it and really thinking on it, and I actually decided to make the switch for him to Phonetic Zoo, and you guys, it has been amazing. So Phonetic Zoo is another video I'm going to be making, and absolutely for sure, like just how it works, how we're using it, that kind of thing. But the improvement that I've seen in his spelling and the success that I have seen him experience using Phonetic Zoo is so encouraging to me. So we have, like I said, spelling has always been a struggle for him, even with Spelling Power, which has been the best one thus far until this one. You guys, he made a perfect 100 2 days in a row on his Phonetic Zoo spelling test, and the words were not that easy. Okay, and so that is huge to me, absolutely huge. It focuses in more on like spelling rules and things like that, which is really, really helpful. It's all auditory based, which is, I think, making a humongous difference for him as well. As I said, I will make a separate video on this. I did a day in the life not too long ago, and I did kind of talk about it in there, so I'll link that video down below as well. But that has been something that we changed that I have absolutely loved. Okay, but while we have had some really, really wonderful things and we have had some changes, I also want to talk about something that I underestimated, and that was I vastly underestimated how much time our co-op classes would take up. And what I mean by that is we have been a part of a co-op for years and absolutely love it. My middle school boys, I decided this year to do a mixture of more academically focused classes and enrichment classes. That has worked well for my 8th grader who is taking pre-algebra at our co-op 1 day a week, because then he completes the work for the week at home, and it's worked very, very well for us. However, some of the other classes have created a lot of extra load and work to our regular homeschool stuff. And so my oldest is taking a Spanish class, and it's not the Spanish class is not for any sort of credit, like it's not for a high school credit or anything, but it is a lot of work, as well as another class he's taking, which is forensic science. Now, we knew that that one was going to have extra work involved. We knew that, but I vastly underestimated just how much work and time that class was going to come with. It has been absolutely wonderful, and they absolutely love it, and so do I when they bring the homework home. It's really, really interesting. However, it has created just a little bit of a kink here and there, and like making sure that all the work gets done in a timely fashion and doesn't really get treated like homework, but more of like their everyday stuff that they have to complete. And so that just had caused me to make sure that I gave room in our daily routine to slide those extra subjects in there so that they're not getting put on the back burner and done at the last minute at the night before co-op or something like that. So that is just a faux pas on my part for sure, that I vastly underestimated how much time would be needed for that. So looking ahead, okay, so one more thing I wanted to mention was read alouds. We have really, really enjoyed our read alouds this year. We have had a lot of fun with it. I feel like we've been reading way more this year than years past, and I think a part of that is because of the way that I structured and planned out their curriculum to include a lot more just like reading independently and kind of building their reading curriculum around that, rather than us like following a stricter reading curriculum. And going along with that is 3 of my kiddos, my 6th, 4th, and 3rd grader, we actually I put them together and created kind of more of like a reading group style. We've done a novel study together, like that kind of thing. But along with that, we are actually getting ready to dive into our Tall Tales unit this fall, which I think is going to be a lot of fun to go through together. I found a great printable pack on Teachers Pay Teachers to go along with that talks about like teaching metaphors, similes, hyperboles, like all of that kind of stuff. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun and really fitting for the fall. And so that is going to be coming up. And then we have a lot of great looking read alouds coming up as well. We just finished Paddington, which was a quicker read aloud, but it was enjoyed by the entire family. Even my 4-year-old absolutely loved it. I want to listen to Paddington, read more Paddington. It was a really sweet one. We enjoyed Cricket in Times Square. We enjoyed Walk the World's Rim. Right now we're reading through Adoniram Judson from the Christian Hero series. So there has just been a lot of fun reads this year, and I do try to share those in videos. I will link that playlist down below if that's something you're interested in as well. Coming up, one of the changes that I want to do is I really want to move more into having my kids do a lot more independent Bible study, more than just Bible reading. Typically, I will have them do independent Bible reading, and then we will do Bible study together. Over the summer, they did do some independent Bible study, but I really want to help foster for them getting into the Word and really doing that in like more of a intentional led study. So that is something that I hope to be sharing about in my Q2 update, because that's something that we're going to be kind of adding in and moving more toward during this second quarter. Of course, there are days where you have some rough homeschooling days. So just because this first quarter update sounds pretty positive for the most part, there are definitely days where it feels like there's more pushback than anything. That's just the ebb and flow and kind of part of life and homeschooling. There are definitely those times. So not everything is daisies and roses. So if you are starting to feel burned out or anything like that, or like your curriculum isn't working for you or anything like that, I also do have a video that is avoiding the burnout. I will put that down below as well, because we all have those moments. We all have those times. I know just last week I was just not feeling it, because it was just a day where I woke up and there was constant pushback. It felt like I told my kids, I feel like I'm playing tug of war with you today, because I am trying so hard to focus you guys and focus our family and get through this homeschool day. And I feel like we're playing tug of war back and forth. So those days definitely happen. Those days definitely are days where I myself get to the point of frustration where I have to apologize to my kids as well for just being, short or rude with them or whatever. And those things just happen. It's just part of that ebb and flow and part of life and part of homeschool. If you are a mama who is looking for just a group of ladies to just come alongside you and back you and give you encouragement and bounce ideas off of each other and all of those things, I would love to personally invite you to be a part of my community, which is Made to Homeschool. I would love for you guys to be a part of it and to be there. There have been so many great workshops. There has been so many great posts where we can just glean knowledge from each other, and live meetups where we just sit and chat and share like what our struggles are or what our wins are or whatever, prayer requests with each other. It's truly a place of sweet, sweet community, and I am so grateful for it, and I would love for you to be a part of it. If you want to even just check it out, you can actually do a 7-day free trial, and I will put a link to Made to Homeschool down in the description below, but I really hope to see you there. If you do the 7-day free trial, please make sure that you do one of the live workshops or the live meetups, or check out even the library of like exclusive content, which includes all kinds of like printables, whether it be even like little unit studies or anything. There's so many great things there, but more importantly, really check out and dive into the community aspect of things, because I would love to see you there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much, guys, and have a blessed day.